Been trying to get back in shape. Skateboarding is something I did back when I was a kid. When I was younger, I always struggled with weight. Life and stress kind of gets in the way sometimes. And I didn't really handle that very well. I was turning to things like food. I'm sitting in the middle seat on a United Airlines plane, and I thought, well, this is embarrassing. I can't even fit in the seat. And so I started thinking about health.
I was just scrolling through Instagram and I saw you on there and you're working out by skateboarding.
Skateboarding is something I did back when I was a kid. So there was some kids in the neighborhood who had like Mike McGill and Lance Mountain boards, and they were launching themselves off this. It might have been 3 or 4 foot tall launch ramp. And when I saw that, I was like, man, that's just the coolest thing in the world. It's fun to try to get back in. I think it's been a challenge. It's been a really good challenge.
We used to challenge each other to do things that were pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
And one day, my friend Matt got it in his head that we should probably do Supermans, and everybody gives it a try and everybody chickens out, but for some reason, I don't know, I believed in magic at the time or something. So I go full force for it, and I release the bike and everything, and when I come to pull myself back, I landed smack dab on my nads.
Oh, gnarly! I bet you won't forget that one anytime soon.
I've never forgotten that. Yeah. Tell me how you jump into something so extreme to get in shape.
You know, over the past 10 years, started a business and it's going well, but there's been a lot of life and stress stuff that happened. Poor decision-making processes in handling that stress. I was turning to things like food. I had to go back up to Washington State to visit my family. My grandmother passed away. She was 100 years old. I had gained a little bit of weight. I'm sitting in the middle seat on a United Airlines plane, and I thought, well, this is embarrassing. I can't even fit in the seat. I was really frustrated, and I got back from that trip, and I immediately got really, really sick. And I'm down for 2 weeks, and so I started thinking about health. So that February, I started working out again and was taking, zinc and other vitamins that was supposed to help me out. And to varying degrees, that was successful until about 3 years ago, around Christmas. I couldn't even walk. I felt like there were blocks on my legs. And I started thinking about, I'm not getting any younger, and I need to do something about it. Went back to the gym, kept up the treadmill, and I thought I was doing so good that I climbed up on a roof to install a sign for the sign business I own, and I fell off the roof, and it pretty much hurt my back.
Wow.
And that put me down for about a year. Christmas of 23, I got a Haro to ride. My wife threatened me, you better not be doing all sorts of stuff. So while riding that, because I was not in shape, I was just trying to do some flatland stuff, and my body wasn't ready for it. I overestimated my ability, slipped off it to the peg to the side. That took about 3 or 4 months to get over that, just bruising all over my body.
Yeah.
And, it was easier in my 20s and 30s to lose the weight and get healthy. It's not as much of a physical fight when you're younger you're young.
I don't think it's a physical fight. It's a mental fight that we battle inside ourselves.
Something that somebody told me years ago, the best rest for a physical job is mental activity. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a very mental job, the best rest is a physical activity. Over the past year, I started thinking, I need to still make this change, right? My 50th year of life's coming up. In the Bible, the 50th year is a year of release from bondage. It's a year of restoration. That's the Jubilee. I had become the person that I didn't want to be. I became a fat Baptist preacher. And so that was a hard thing for me, and it's embarrassing to even say it, but let's just be honest. We don't always deal with life the way it should be. When I got to thinking about it, what could I actually do? Because if I can't ride my bike, I need to walk, but I was too lazy to get up and go to the gym. And so, I thought, well, maybe I could just start skateboarding again. Try to ollie. It's a physical activity. It's like jumping jacks or jumping rope. Yeah. I started on TikTok, but the TikTok channel was really, for me, kind of putting it out there online. There is an issue of accountability.
Yeah, because you force yourself to do it now.
Absolutely, because at some point I'm going to either have to put up or shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
But I need to hear it every now and then. Say, hey, look, you need to do better on this. I need that, And so it was kind of
as long as it's constructive and they're just giving you pointers.
Trying to help people understand that TikTok wasn't so bad, but man, the people on Instagram are feral.
Yeah, they
you
are.
know. And so, I just dealt with it head on and said, look, obviously,
Right.
my goal was to be half the person I was on my next birthday in December. So I've gained comfort from knowing Jesus as my Savior, that when I die, I go to be with Him.
Yeah.
But you have to think about it like this. COVID really opened the eyes of a lot of people. One day you're going to die, and it might be a comorbidity that you have, and being overweight is that. I don't want that to be the way I pass away.
Yeah.
If I could choose it, I don't want to die in a car accident either. But one day you're gonna.
I was gonna say, you seem like somebody who, over the course of your life, from what you've shared with me, has had the grit to withstand life, and for you, what you're doing right now, I think is totally the right way.
That's the thing I keep telling myself. It took me a while to get in the shape I am in. You can't just wake up one morning and say, today I want to be in shape, and then all of a sudden, it happens. It doesn't happen that way.
Mm-mm.
It takes progress. It takes a process, and so the same is true in the life of a Christian. Sanctification is a rough process. I don't think we talk about this enough. We love to talk about the gospel, how that Jesus saves, but what happens when that person wakes up the next day and they're still dealing with the struggles of life?
Yeah,
We
you're
all
not
struggle.
whole unless you work through that.
I was really convicted about it because here I am. I own a business. I pastor a church bivocationally, and if I'm going to preach, I wasn't treating this body the way that the Lord wants me to treat it. And in the process of continued repentance and confessing my sin to the Lord, I confessed, I eat too much, Lord. There are times that I would love to just, go and stop by the local ice cream shop and, give me an ice cream cone. One little ice cream cone ain't gonna hurt, right?
Yeah.
And then it's another one.
That's it.
And then it's another one. And next thing you know, I've been there for 3 weeks straight, and they know what I want. It's like, because I want to honor God with this body. I know that right now what I need to do is get healthy, and I think skateboarding was really part of that journey.
Yeah.
And I'm down like 60, 70 pounds, somewhere in that range.
That's awesome.
I think once I get down to about 250, 240, I'll probably be at the point where I can begin cycling again.
I wanted to touch on one thing, because while we were talking about kind of our spiritual life, a friend of mine pointed out, the meaning of the word holy even is to be whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so how could we be holy if we don't allow ourselves to see the patterns in our lives that we need to fix that keep us from being in close relationship with God?
How can I preach that the Lord can set people free from sin if I am in bondage to sin myself?
To that, and I hope that this encourages people to take their health and their spiritual life and everything seriously. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug? I see you've got your brand back there, Church Clothes.
Yeah, so Church Clothes is a clothing brand that I started back in '92 as a way to share my faith. Go to churchclothes.com. That's where my website's at. I am on YouTube at Church Clothes. That's where I put all my other videos at. And I just really appreciate everybody who has sent a message to say, hey, here's how you haul it. Here's how you do this. And people have been sending me videos, it's like, here's how I do this. Here's how you do this. Mm-hmm. And I have heard from a lot of people. This just blows my mind away. That they're like, I'm in my 40s and 30s and 50s, and I think I'm going to get my skateboard again and get back out there and get active. And my encouragement to everybody is, yes, get active. Here's the thing people got to understand. Social media, for most part, is just fake. So get off the computer, get off the phone, get out there in the real world and breathe some fresh air and do some physical activity.
I appreciate you being honest and sharing that you were convicted for feeling like that and for living that lifestyle, but you were like, you know what, I'm going to take this into my own hands and accept the responsibility. I'm going to meet God halfway and do my part. And there's so many pastors that do not, and shame on them for pretending they're perfect. It's so refreshing to meet someone who is truthful and honest about their own life publicly.
And if we can understand that everyone is struggling at some point, maybe then we can give each other a lot more grace in the process.
That's it. That's what the whole world needs right now, is just more grace for each other. If we could just do that and talk enough, I think we'd find out we're a lot more alike than we are different.
That's the truth. Everybody's trying to hack out an existence, and I have to tell myself this all the time. this is the first time that anyone's ever lived.
Well, thanks, Jason, for being here with me today. I
Well, I
really enjoyed
appreciate the
talking to
opportunity.
you, listening to your story.
Well, I appreciate your opportunity to be on your funny podcast with you, and I hope that somebody perhaps listens to it or sees it, and it challenges them to make the changes in their life that they know they need to make. Because you know what? It's your life.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you've watched with us this far, thank you. And I hope that you've been encouraged by this. Hit the subscribe button, share it with somebody who might enjoy it, somebody that you think might actually get a benefit out of it. And we'll see you next time.